Welcome, curious minds, to a world of knowledge and discovery. Welcome, everyone, to our latest video where we'll be exploring Álvaro de Luna actor. Álvaro de Luna Blanco, 10 April 1935 to November 2018, was a Spanish actor. He performed in more than 100 films since 1961. He was most known for El Algarrobo in Curro Jiménez. In 1963 he appeared in El Verdugo by Luis García Berlanga. In 1987 he appeared in the TV series Vísperas. He died on 2 November 2018 from a hepatic insufficiency. In the next phase, we'll be immersing ourselves in the realm of film and exploring its real-world applications. 1961, The Colossus of Rhodes, uncredited. 1962, The Son of Captain Blood as Pirata, uncredited. 1962, Torrejon City as Peli en Saloon, uncredited. 1962, Vampires as 1930 as Peli. 1963, The Adventures of Scaramouche. 1963, Los Conquistadores del Pacífico. 1963, Objetivo Los Estrellas as El Tigre. 1963, Pacto de Silencio as Forens. 1964, The Black Tuid. 1964, The Two Gladiators as Pandanzio. 1964, A Fistful of Dollars as Rojo Gang member, uncredited. 1964, The Seven from Texas as Burns. 1964, Minnesota Clay, uncredited. 1964, Decifo Enro Bravo as Pistolero. 1965, 7 Hours of Gunfight as Utter. 1965, Per un Pugno Nelocchio as Sargento Black, uncredited. 1965, Shoot to Kill as Henchman. 1965, Whiskey White Vodka. 1965, That Man in Istanbul as Bogo. 1965, Megatony as Foster. 1965, Train Zenfer as Hamlet. 1965, All Somebody in a Cult, uncredited. 1966, Kid Rolo. 1966, Operation Rembrandt as Koski Henchman. 1966, Lola Espayo Oscuro as Frankie. 1966, Arizona Cult as Watch Henchman. 1966, Navajo Joe as Sonka Ramirez, member of Duncan's Gang. 1967, El Halcon de Castella as Acunian. 1967, The Hellbenders as Bixby. 1967, Ama Allah Espola as Hombre Q Dispute con Paco. 1967, Argyle Him and Return Alone as Aguada, uncredited. 1967, The Viscount as Jean. 1967, The Christmas Kid as Bert Frolic. 1967, Los Cutinen Q Server as Spencer. 1967, 15 Scuffles for a Murderer as Deputy Sheriff. 1967, Day of Anger as Wild Jack's Henchman, uncredited. 1968, Ballad of a Bounty Hunter as Bandido. 1968, Fruit of Temptation as Fernandez, uncredited. 1968, Dame un Poco de Amor. 1968, Juno 40 for Sparkimo in Normandia as Cliff. 1968, The Mercenary as Ramen. 1969, Cemetery Without Crosses as Deputy Sheriff, uncredited. 1969, Relations Casey Bikers as Chucho. 1969, Les Etrangas as Percy. 1969, Monica Stock as Ispa. 1969, Sundance and the Kid as Bad Jim's Henchman, uncredited. 1970, De Vacancies N or 1970, Del Color Al Defunto as Julio. 1970, An Imperfect Crime as Mitten. 1970, Unpada Asesinos as Patrick Kirby. 1970, Saboteur the Killer as Garfield Heckman. 1970, El Monumento as Portillo. 1970, En un lugar de la manga as Amido de Juan. 1970, No Decias El Vicino del Quinto as Liborio. 1970, Pomperos as John's Henchman. 1970, El Astronita as Hio de la Anchanacuist Vino La TV. 1970, Growing Leg, Diminishing Skirt as Alberto Garca del Chaparral. 1971, La Orella as Comandante Rojo. 1971, Stame Quinsters as Unpuberino. 1971, El Diablo Julo as Juice. 1971, No Decias Longa del Vicino as Felipe El Boxeda. 1971, La Red de Miles Canchon as East Avils. 1971, Lostes de Caberio as Locao de 1971, C. Fulano Fus Mendano as Amido de Miguel 1972, Los Sarah Virgin as Jimenez 1972, Los Novios de Miles Mja as Jorge 1972, Venta por Pisos as Julio Sanz and Gutierrez Vizquino 1972, Sonny and Jed as Sheriff with Bowler Hat 1972, Soltara y Padre and La Vida as Camaro del Club Dogo 1973, Count Dracula's Great Love as Second Partida 1974, Odio Miles Capo as Camelo 1974, El Insolito Ambrosio de los Martinez as Tigre 1975, Evil Eye as Police Officer and Credit 1975, Order to Kill as Daniel 1975, El Clan de los Nazarenos as Carlos 1975, El Major Regalo as Enfumero 1976, Celsinio y Somos as Hermano de Cristina 1977, Foul Play as Cacique 1978, Bavisa a Curro Jiménez as El Algarrobo 1978, Don Hey Patron as Marcial 1980, El Y El as Enrique 1980, El Gran Secreto as Camienro 1980, Tullius Milamon Dotto as Alvaro 1981, La Quinta del Porro as El Sargento 1981, Duo Amert as Capitan 1982, Sweet Hours as To 1982, and Septiembre as Perico 1982, El Cabezoto as El Cabezoto 1982, Jane Miles Piquia Salvage as Tom 1984, El Balkan Abierto as El Ginnet 1985, Punta Indiano as Lorenzo 1986, Teo El Perejo as Teo 1987, La Guerra de los Locos as Rubio 1987, Mi General as Comandante Barbadillo 1987, Luna de Lobos as Dildo 1988, Gallego as Anisto 1988, El Tesoro as El Papo 1991, Tramontana as Don Gera 1993, La Febador as Bernardo Folks 1996, Pesa de la Pera Enrico as Lorenzo 1998, Mamb as Sargento Aroca 2000, Mastros 2000, Lazaro de Tormes as Caldero 2001, Silencio Roto as Don Hilario 2002, La Soldad Era Esto as Sueño 2002, La Marcha Verde as Coronel 2002, Carol's Journey as Don Emilio 2003, Los Dos de la Noche as El Viejo 2007, Teresa, The Body of Christ as Padre de Teresa 2007, and Who Are You? As Luis 2007, The Field of Stars as Alfonso 2007, Jimeno Alidon 2008, El Libro de los Aguas as Faustino 2014, Spanish Western as himself 2018, Nia as Armendi 2019, Cecine Salvage as himself final film role. Now let's shift our attention to television. Curro Jiménez as El Algarrobo, La Berica 1979 as Batista Herdros as Antonio Moro. Your feedback helps me improve, so please take a moment to leave a comment or review.